Hello viewers, welcome to the episode on the service of non-alcoholic beverages. The term non-alcoholic denotes that the drinks are totally free from alcohol. It includes drinks that are hot and cold. The different non-alcoholic drinks are coffee, tea, hot chocolate, juices, squashes and aerated drinks, mineral waters and milk-based drinks such as milkshakes, etc. In this episode, we will be discussing on the various types of non-alcoholic beverages served in the hotels. For better understanding, this episode is divided into 5 parts, namely Introduction to non-alcoholic beverages, tea and different varieties of tea, coffee, processing of coffee seeds and making of coffee. Let us now understand about the meaning of non-alcoholic beverages. The term beverages refer to all the potable drinks that have the properties of quenching thirst, refreshing, stimulating and nourishing. In the food and beverage business, a wide range of beverages are available for consumption before, during and after the meal. Non-alcoholic beverages can also be further divided into hot stimulating, cold refreshing and nourishing. Hot stimulating beverages like tea, that is manufacturing different types of tea and making of good tea, and coffee, that is manufacturing, making of instant coffee, adding of chicory, removing of caffeine, different types of coffee made. Tea and different varieties of tea. Tea is the most preferred hot beverage in many parts of the world. Tea was brought to India by the British, who learnt the art of tea making from the Chinese. Tea is from the tropical and subtropical plant called Camellia sinensis, a native of Asia. The leaf bud and top leaves of the evergreen plant are treated to make tea. Tea from Sri Lanka, China, India, Indonesia and some parts of Africa are most popular. Almost 3000 varieties of tea are available. In certain parts of the world, tea drinking is a ritual observed with religious solemnity. Different stages in the manufacture of tea are picking. Leaves are hand picked while young. The new shoots of terminal bud and the tender young leaves attached to the bud with the stalk are plucked. Withering. The picked leaves are allowed to wither to reduce its moisture content. After the leaves are skillfully plucked, they are spread on trays or screens. Withering is often conducted in open sheds. During this process, the leaves lose moisture and become limp and flaccid, which makes them suitable for rolling. Crushing or rolling or breaking. Leaves are rolled to free the juices. The aim of rolling is to twist the tea leaves either by hand or by mechanical process. This ruptures the leaves, releasing enzymatic juices. A wide range of machines and rolling techniques are used. After rolling, the tea goes through a roll breaking machine, which separates the larger rolled leaves into smaller, more consistent pieces. Drying or oxidation. The leaves are dried in mechanical dryers. The process of oxidation is sometimes incorrectly referred to as fermentation. In this process, the tea leaves are spread out on large trough with wire mesh at the bottom, allowing for sufficient airflow. During this time, the leaves will lose most of the remaining moisture and absorb extra oxygen from the atmosphere. Sorting. During this stage, gentle heat is applied to the leaf to stop the oxidation process, which is known as firing. It is done by blowing hot air over the leaf or passing the leaf through hot tunnels. In this heating or firing process, leaf becomes stable and does not spoil or crumble. After the tea has been processed, it is graded by size, appearance and quality. The grading described is the physical appearance of the leaf, not the taste. Stamped on the chest of tea are different letters used by the manufacturers to denote the various grades of tea. They are Orange Pekoe or OP. This tea usually does not contain any bud tip. The OP tea is when the bud opens into a longer leaf than it is plucked. Flowery Orange Poke or FOP, a tea that is made of young buds and leaves. It also contains a well developed tip, the end pieces of the bud. Broken Orange Pekoe, that is BOP, and BOP tea with broken leaves rather than whole leaves. Assam teas are generally belong to this variety. Crush, tear, curl, that is CTC. The tea leaves are sent through rollers which tear and break the leaf after it has been withered. They produce stronger tea. All varieties of tea are from the plant Camellia sinensis, but differ because of the geographical location, harvesting methods and processing. Tea can be divided into 5 categories, that is black, green, oolong, white and yellow. Black tea. After plucking, tea leaves are allowed to wither. The water evaporates and the leaf absorbs more oxygen from the air. Then tea leaves are gently crushed or tossed so as to tear slightly. The leaves turn darker due to oxidation. This process referred to as fermentation. This tea undergoes complete oxidation and the result is the characteristic dark brown and black leaf, giving robust and pronounced flavors of black teas. When it is sufficiently darkened, the fermentation process is stopped by heating the leaves. This black tea is packed for sales. Green tea. After picking, the tea leaves are allowed to wither only slightly. The oxidation process is stopped very quickly by firing, that is rapid heating, the leaves. Green tea produces more subtle flavors with many undertones and accents that connoisseurs appreciate. Yellow tea. The manufacturing process is similar to green tea. The process begins when leaves become yellow and the oxidation is stopped. Oolong tea or Oolong tea undergoes partial oxidation. The flavor of the oolong tea is not as robust as black tea or as subtle as green tea, but has its own fragrance. Oolongs are often compared to the taste and aroma of fresh flowers or fresh fruits. White teas. White teas are the most delicate of all teas. They are appreciated for their subtlety, complexity and natural sweetness. The youngest shoots of the tea plant are picked, withered indoors and slightly rolled and dried. Blended teas. Commercial tea is blended with teas from different places to suit the market taste. Mostly, the blends are flavored with other natural additives, example vanilla, caramel, jasmine, etc. The dust tea available in the market is generally leftover tea during the manufacturing process of different types of teas. Tisanes. This is the tea with the infusion of herbs and various flavors, particularly fruit flavors. Examples of tisanes are herbal flavored, fruit flavored, mint, tulsi, peppermint, ginger, orange, lemon. Storage of tea. Tea leaves are always stored in airtight containers, preferably in a moisture free area and away from strong odors. Steps in making good tea. Always use good quality tea leaves. Use clean water as minerals tend to make the tea cloudy and affect the flavor of the tea. The boiling water must be poured into the teapot to which the tea leaves are added. The method of making tea is referred to as brewing. The tea leaves are allowed to stay till the flavor is taken by the water. While serving, use a tea strainer to hold back the leaves flowing along with the water into the cup. Coffee. Coffee originated on the plateaus of central Ethiopia. Arabs collected the fruit of this tree, which grew wild, and prepared a beverage from these beans. This drink spread rapidly, and Europe was introduced to coffee by 1600s. The coffee tree, a member of the evergreen family Coffea, coffee is a beverage made by grinding roasted coffee beans and passing hot water. The liquid is dark, flavorful and aromatic and is usually served hot. It ranks as the most popular processed beverage, and each country has developed its own preparation methods. In the Middle East, coffee is made and served in copper cups. The Italians prefer espresso, a thick brew served in tiny cups, and the French enjoy a combination of coffee and a cream, and in South India, coffee decoction is served with milk and sugar. Coffee trees grow best in a temperate climate. They also thrive in fertile, well-drained soil. High altitude plantations at 3000 to 6000 feet above the sea level produce low moisture beans with more flavor. The influence of volcanic soil and altitude produces the finest beans. Coffee is often cultivated on mountains. Brazil caters to 50% of the global demand. Currently, about 25 types of coffee trees exist. The variation stemming from environmental factors such as soil, weather and altitude. The two main species of coffee are coffee robusta and coffee arabica. The robusta strain produces less expensive beans, largely because it can be grown under less demanding conditions than the arabica strain. Coffee made from arabica beans has a deep reddish cast, whereas robusta coffee is dark brown or black in appearance. Many producers prefer to mix in proportions suitable to the market taste. Processing of coffee. Coffee seeds are removed from the berries for roasting. The process is: the flesh of the coffee berry is softened in water and the seeds known as bean are removed mechanically. The seeds or beans are fermented. Once fermented, the seeds or beans are washed thoroughly. The beans are dried by exposing to air or in heated rotating drums. The bean is known as green coffee. It is screened and separated according to the size. The two types of coffee beans, Arabica and Robusta, are blended according to the formula for a consistent product. Roasting. The coffee beans are roasted at different temperatures according to the requirement. The stages in roasting beans may be light, medium, full or dark. Roasting gradually raises the temperature of the beans to between 431 and 449 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 220 to 230 degrees Celsius. This triggers the release of steam, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide and other volatiles, reducing the weight of the beans by 14 to 23%. The pressure of these escaping gases causes the beans to swell and the volume increases by 30% to 100%. Roasting also darkens the color of the beans, gives them a crumbly texture and triggers the chemical reaction that gives the coffee its familiar aroma. After leaving the roaster, the beans are placed in a cooling vat, wherein they are stirred while cold air is passed. The cooled beans are passed through an electronic sorter to sort unevenly roasted beans. The coffee is grounded after roasting. Special types of grinding have been developed to produce coffee of different texture for different tastes. The ground coffee is vacuum packed or sealed in airtight containers. Making of instant coffee. To make instant coffee, manufacturers grind the beans and infuse the mixture in percolators. The decoction is sprayed into a cylinder. As it falls downward through this cylinder, warm air is passed to evaporate the moisture to get dry powder, which is packed as instant coffee powder. Decaffeinating. Caffeine, an alkaloid present in the coffee beans, is a stimulant. The process of removing caffeine from the coffee beans is known as decaffeinating. For this, coffee is processed using either a solvent or by steaming. The solvent, usually methylene chloride, absorbs the caffeine from the coffee beans. The beans must be thoroughly washed to remove traces of solvent prior to roasting. The other process is steam is passed through the beans in water to bring the caffeine to the surface of the seed. The coating of caffeine is scraped and washed. Environmental concern. Methylene chloride, the solvent used to decaffeinate coffee beans, has come under criticism as it is suspected of being harmful to humans. So, the water method of decaffeination has grown in popularity and is to replace solvent decaffeination completely. The decaffeinated coffee brand available in Europe is termed Hag and the brand available in America is Sanka. Packaging of coffee. Coffee must be hermetically sealed. So, it is packed in plastic film, aluminum foil or cans. Instant coffee picks up moisture easily. So, it is vacuum packed in tin cans or glass jars. Addition of chicory. In many parts of the world, the root of the plant chicory is processed and added to coffee. This is a perennial herbaceous plant with bright blue flowers. The roots of this plant are dried, roasted and ground to be used as a coffee substitute and additive. This powder makes an excellent substitute for coffee. Chicory does not have caffeine. Chicory gives a more roasted flavor to coffee. Chicory reportedly cleanses the blood and improves the liver. Many manufacturers blend up to 30% of chicory in the coffee mix. The leaves of chicory plant called endive is used in salad making, which adds to the flavor because of its bitterness. Making of coffee. The texture of ground coffee is different for different types of coffees. Filter coffee. This is the traditional method of making coffee in South India. The coffee filter equipment consists of two containers, one attached to the other. The top container is perforated. In this is packed the freshly ground coffee powder and boiling water poured on it. Infusion takes place and the dark liquid called decoction collects in the bottom container. This coffee decoction is served with milk and sugar. Vacuum infusion or Kona coffee. This equipment is made up of two bowls made of glass or metal, or sometimes one of the bowls, the top bowl, is glass. The piece on top is connected to the bowl at the bottom with a tube into which the filter made of plastic or metal. For making coffee, measured quantity of water is poured into the lower bowl, which is heated. The coffee powder is packed into the filter, which is attached to the upper bowl. The steam from the lower bowl rises up to the upper bowl, passing through the ground coffee kept in the filter. The water collecting in the upper bowl infuses through the coffee powder in the filter attached to the lower bowl. This flows back to the lower bowl, taking in the color and the flavor of the coffee. This decoction is taken for coffee making. Espresso. This method of making coffee originated in Italy. The electrically operated machine passes steam under pressure through finely ground coffee. If coffee is served black without addition of milk, then it is called espresso coffee. If piping hot milk is added to the espresso, then it is called cappuccino. Turkish or Egyptian coffee. This coffee is made in copper vessel. Water with milk and sugar is boiled in the copper vessel. Roasted ground coffee is added to the boiling mix and allowed to settle to the bottom. Cold water is sprinkled so that remaining coffee powder settles to the bottom of the vessel. Vanilla pods or a few rose petals are added just before service. Coffee is poured in copper cups. Styles of coffee served. Café noir, black coffee, coffee served without milk. Café au lait, coffee with milk, coffee served with milk. Liqueur coffee, coffee is served with alcoholic beverage, liquor or brandy. To conclude, beverages are consumed during the day for refreshing oneself, as these are stimulants. Every food service outlet serves one or more types of beverages. The chef should be aware of the new products in the market introduced to meet the changing needs of the customers. Thank you for watching.